My nephew spit into my dinner plate and said, "Dad says you deserve it." Then my mom, my sister, my brother, and my brother-in-law laughed like it was the funniest thing they'd ever seen. I didn't yell, I didn't flip the table. I just stood up, walked out, and finally pulled the one lever they never thought I would. I was 34, the oldest. My dad died when I was 14, so I became the built-in babysitter and backup parent. Mom worked non-stop. Natalie and Kyle got comforted. I got assigned. Everyone praised me for being mature, which really meant I could carry it, so they didn't have to. As adults, the pattern stayed. I built a solid career in financial planning. Kyle kept finding himself and finding my wallet. Natalie married Brian, a wealthy attorney who measured people by status. He called my job money shuffling and acted like I was beneath him. Mom's specialty was smiling through it and changing the subject. 3 years ago, Mom was about to lose the house. I covered 65% of her mortgage to keep her from being evicted. After that, the house became everyone's hangout. Kyle practically lived there. Natalie and Brian treated it like their weekend spot. Nobody treated me like a person, just a resource with a PIN code. The week of the dinner, Natalie texted, "Be on time and don't bring up work." Kyle asked what my car was worth. I should have caught the vibe. I didn't. I showed up exactly at 7 with my dad's lasagna and a bottle of champagne for Natalie's promotion. Kyle opened the door without even looking up. "Oh, you brought food." Inside, everyone was already seated. No place set for me. Mom rushed to add a setting at the far end of the table. Natalie said they started because Lucas was hungry. Brian glanced at my dish. "Margaret already made spaghetti. We don't need 2 pasta dishes." I sat there, isolated, while Brian kept taking shots and Kyle kept fishing for cash. Natalie laughed along, like it was safer than disagreeing with her husband. Then Lucas looked up from his tablet. "Dad says you live alone because you love money more than people." Brian smiled without showing teeth. Dessert came out. Store-bought cookies. Lucas stood up and walked straight to me. Slow motion. He stopped by my plate. He chewed, loud, then he leaned in and spit a mouthful of cookie and saliva onto my food. Crumbs slid across the plate. Lucas lifted his chin and announced, "Dad says you deserve it." Then he added, proud and clear, "He says you're a loser nobody likes." Brian laughed first. Kyle snorted. Natalie shook with giggles behind her hand, and my mom actually chuckled. I set my napkin down. I stood up. "I think it's time for me to go." Mom waved me off. "He's just a kid. Don't be so sensitive." Kyle said, "Lighten up." Brian muttered, "A joke we've all wanted to make for years." Natalie stared at her plate and said nothing. I left. I could still hear them laughing through the window. When I got home, Mom sent a group text saying my behavior was unacceptable and I should stop contacting them until I could be reasonable. Kyle reacted with a thumbs up. Natalie stayed silent. That's when something in me finally clicked. I typed 6 words and hit send before I could talk myself out of it. Understood. Mortgage autopay ends tomorrow. The chat exploded. "Mom, call me right now." Kyle, "Bro, don't do this." Natalie, "Lucas is 8. You're overreacting." Brian, "Real men don't abandon their mothers." The next morning, I walked into my bank and canceled the autopay. The banker slid the form back to me. I signed. She stamped it. Done. My phone buzzed nonstop in my pocket, and for once, I didn't feel guilty. Lucas texted me later. "I'm sorry. Dad told me it would be funny." I told him I wasn't mad at him. I was mad at the adult who used him like a weapon. I met Mom, Natalie, and Kyle at a coffee shop. Neutral ground. Brian suddenly couldn't make it. I told them I was done being the family ATM. I wanted real apologies, boundaries, and counseling. Natalie asked, like we were bargaining, "And if we do that, you'll pay?" That question answered everything. I covered one last month so Mom could make a plan. After that, I cut my help down hard. Mom downsized. Kyle got a steady job. Natalie stopped laughing when Brian took swings at me. And Lucas and I rebuilt, one honest conversation at a time. They didn't change because I begged. They changed because the bill finally landed in their lap. What would you have done in my place?